break already happened. At the last fans forum, you said about running the sports squad. Do you intend to sign anybody else? Although we're going to go next year?
I think we will have to at some stage. We've definitely gone for quality out of quantity this season. We've got 2 or 3 players that are flexible, playing different positions. I think it's important as well that the lads who are training with us daily, that they feel that they've got a chance of playing every week, which I think you've seen this season. So, game 1 we lose Angelo, we lost Joey Jones, Rance was out, somebody like Sam Bean played 3 or 4 positions already. So we've been able to utilise what we had, but we're monitoring players already that we can improve the squad, so it's just got to be the right person as well as the right player.
If Justin was unlucky enough to be injured during the course of the game, who will be the substitute goalkeeper?
Robert.
Thank you.
He's a rapper, a central midfielder, goal scorer, and goalkeeper.
Next, please.
So just kind of leading on from that question there, in terms of signing someone, I think equally I'm really happy with the way things are going. I think it's brilliant, but obviously we're going to run things down practically every game, and all of those goals seem to be easy crosses. McCallum has been brilliant this season in going back and clearing those crosses, but are we looking for a centre back who can clear the crosses and stop us losing simple goals, really?
I don't think we give away many chances, to be honest, in the games. I think probably the most chances we've given away in the game would have been Saturday against Solihull when we won 5-1. But I think actual chances we gave away would have been more in Solihull than any of the games. In terms of defending crosses, the big reason why we signed Paul McCallum was because he can defend crosses as well, to be honest. It was part of the reason why we recruited. We felt that this division defending our box was something like him massive, as well as the job. When you sign centre-backs, you have centre-backs. We've got one of like Kenny Clark, who's fantastic at defending crosses. But the 3 we've got playing at the minute, Will Brown, Callum Reynolds, Eddie Johnson, I don't think we'll probably get many better footballers than centre-backs than them 3, and that's been the style we played with so far this season. That's worked well for us. So sometimes, you know, people have got strengths and weaknesses in different areas, and I think at the moment, I don't see it as being a big problem for us. If it becomes a big problem for us, that we're struggling defending crosses regularly, and it's something that we'll look at. Well, I'm comfortable at the minute what we've got.
Okay, fair enough. I know you've been worried about that we keep going 1-0 down in all these games.
I've been asked that every game from Lou to go, so I'll tell you something. So the games is for 95 minutes. Do I want to see the first one? No, I'd rather not. But if it happens, equally I know that we've got a group that won't let it affect it when we move forward and play how we play for the 95 minutes. We won't hold anything back because we're a goal down. You can see the goal at any time in the game, and I agree that it's not ideal. And I don't think, if I'm being really honest, and I don't want to have a complex, but I don't think we've started games that badly to concede a goal. I think it's just one of the consequences that happened. So the reaction to it has been fantastic. And even if you're an opposition playing against us and you go a goal up, you won't relax because we're going to get that.
Thank you. Anybody else? Over here. At the end here, young lady.
Hi, Darrell. I'd be really interested to know, we come and we watch the games each Saturday, but what happens between each Saturday? Do you debrief the team as a whole? Do you debrief individuals? Once you've done that, do you then look to who you're playing the following week and the training goes along with what you've picked up from the team you're playing? How does it go between matches? Just very interested to know.
How do we manage the training week? So on a Monday generally, if we play on Saturday, the lads who play Saturday will do a warm down there, the second day recovery, so they'll be very little really. We'll recap the game on a Sunday morning. All the players get sent their individual trips to their games. Particularly with the younger players, we'll go for trips to them on a Monday morning. The players who didn't play will do a proper training session on the Monday. Tuesday, everybody back together to have a more intense session at the start, building up to the game on Saturday. That might be, if we're playing a team that look crosses, we'll start looking at Tuesday. We're playing a team that are poor at defending for us, we'll look at that Tuesday. Just drip feed our beats to the past head on Tuesday, and by Thursday, the players will not do start on Saturday, and we'll go into more detail on that video analysis on Thursday. And then Friday, generally a bit of a fun day really. We'll tidy up set pieces and stuff like that, and then we'll do like a round robin tournament, and the lads will go for the worst player who gets fined, that's for a yellow bit. That happens on Friday, and then we come on Saturday.
Yeah, question to Darren. Any of the players who Josh Walker surprised you? Do you expect him to be first choice, or at least retain the first game of the scoring in the season?
Yes, that's what we signed him. I think Josh was someone that we highlighted because of his obvious qualities for a start, and the fact that he's not had a breakthrough season yet. The obvious players like Josh would be someone like Tish Manger, who went for Chesterfield. Josh has got the same quality, but he's not actually put that season together yet. And we're hoping he can do it now. Another big thing with him as well was that he played with McCallum, he's played with Reynolds, he's played with Maro, so we knew that he'd come in and settle in. And really interestingly as well, when I signed McCallum last summer, he was having a coffee, I said to him, who's the one player you can take and Barney? Before I even finished, he said, Josh Walker. So it's quite interesting to have that inside as well from the team like this as well. So I think it's always key when you're a player that you get that inside information.
How close are we not to signing on?
Very close. We couldn't really compete, to be honest, financially what Chesterfield gave. I won't go into numbers, but what Sadie was earning at Maidstone, we doubled, and they pay more, and each other better.
One at the front.
Good question, Darryl. On the long matches I like at Halifax on a Tuesday night, it's a long journey for players, it's a long journey for everyone who's going. How did the team react over that period, going early in the morning or and when they come back? It's such a long journey for them. How do they react?
Depends if you win or not. I think it's always important, it really is. I think as many times you go and play a game on Tuesday night, I remember going to Torquay last year around I didn't play it, and it's a long way to get in the bus and go and get one, and it really is. For fans and players alike, and I think it's important that you try and go and get it. You try and do that anyway, obviously, to try and get the result, but it's important that you get the positive result right on, and then recovery is important, obviously, after that as well. In general, when you get back to Halifax, you'll fancy what's doing more on the rest day, Wednesday, you've got kids waking you up at 6, and then you're back to training Thursday.
Glad you came.
Darren again, sorry. Just back to that Saturday. Unusually interesting. I thought the colour was really but Walker stepped up in the first one. Was there a reason?
Yeah, we did it last year as well against Solihull, so obviously Matt played for Solihull, and I think Angelo took it against Solihull last year at home, because Matt thought he practiced penalties against the goalkeeper. So we let Josh take that one, and Angelo last year, obviously by the time the other one was 4-1, so he probably can't half go now.
The reason I asked that, I'm back to come to top scorers. Let's see.
Peter, how do you find the results that have gone? How do you feel when you look at the in America, how they're playing?
What was the second part about America? This has been a sincere pleasure. I will say that I was probably illegally streaming the Wrexham match, but I was listening to their announcer who actually passed along that from the last 10 games of the previous season to now, there's no team in the entire United Kingdom that has a better winning percentage or more points than we do. And that includes Manchester City or anybody else. And it's a testament to Daryl, who has taken the club and reworked and rebuilt and gotten the best out of players that were here from the time that Craig and I started to bringing in everybody from Josh Walker, you name it, you guys know. But I'm just delighted. I mean, like, it couldn't be happier. This is exactly what we wanted from the first day we stepped foot here, and it's hard. It's really hard to get here. And, you know, Steve and I talk about it a lot. Part of my learning curve is appreciating what we have now. And our ability to score goals is something that I can sincerely appreciate, because for a couple of years there, we could not score goals. You know, I really am just incredibly grateful for the path we've taken. And I will say this, and you know, in talking to the players, and I think this is also a testament to Daryl, they are a true group that enjoys each other, they're relaxed, they're aggressive, but I think those results are all coming out on the pitch because there is a camaraderie there. A few questions were asked about, you know, will we add other players? We will spend whatever money we need to go out and get additional players if and when we need them. We need to be careful not to disrupt, you know, the chemistry and make sure that the players who are playing aren't displaced, right? Because there's a real brotherhood that's happening right now in the clubhouse that's really important. But the answer is, you know, yes, we went for quality over quantity. I'm fully aware it's a very long season, and we actually sat up in the boardroom tonight and talked about a couple of the possible players. But the reality is we're going to be more delighted.
Given the start of the season that we've had, you can't fault how well we're playing. Probably playing the most exciting football we've seen for years over the day. We're sitting pretty near the top of the table, we're at top at the moment. How concerning is it that on Saturday we only got 1,200 fans to the game, despite none of the big London Premier League teams being at home that day? And how do we tend to get more fans through the door?
And look, I think that we talked about this, right? That success will breed attendance. I think we're in a very unique time in the world. I think that it's very easy to overlook the COVID situation that continues to not only worry fans coming out to live events, but also has just reset, Craig and I talked about this today, has reset people's patterns in life and how they go about living and what they end up doing, staying home and ordering in versus going out. I think it's a really very real situation, and until the world completely opens up again, I think it's going to be a challenge. I think that getting groups together is a challenge. Corporate groups, school groups, you know, community groups, because those groups that are generally meeting and do outings are not necessarily as active as they were. We have the exact same situation in Memphis. It has been incredibly challenging to fill the stadium. With that said, you know, once Daryl gets us promoted, I believe that this place will be, you know, at least double or triple capacity.
I also think we've got to realise Rain Road South was a car park on Saturday morning. And there were certainly areas of the car stand that I saw where I thought myself, that's empty. Where are those people that they were seeing together that have been here for all the other bands? And as long as we might miss one or two of them, but I honestly think that some people got as far as Rain Road South on Saturday and gave up and went home. So let's see. If I'm right, then it should be better this Saturday, and we'll see. But I think that's something to do with it as well.
Anybody else?
Just following on from that, I actually get a train and drive. I know a lot of people say about the parking regulations have got a lot of work. Is that something we're speaking to the council about, or is it totally out of hand?
I actually think that's a bit overblown than it actually is. I have spoken to the leader of council of this, and it's just a few areas around the back that have now got parking restrictions. There is still a car park at Bonds Road. I know it's a little bit of a walk, and he pointed that to me straight away. There's plenty of parking in there on a Saturday. It's a 10 or 12 minute walk through the back. But yes, I have spoken to him, but he doesn't believe it's as bad as what some people said online. The other thing is, it's part of their remit. If you live in those streets, then you won't be able to park outside your house on a Saturday afternoon. So it's balancing those two things up. The other thing is, and I can't say this, but obviously the main lake car park is only across the road as well. But I didn't say that.
Yeah, gentleman at the back, young lady.
Hiya. I was wondering, would there be a chance if we could see some of the What was the question?
Yeah, so like a Netherlands players come over eventually, play the guys a couple of trials.
Yeah, there are definitely, there's players in America that are definitely good enough to play here. The challenge is again with COVID and really with the immigration, sort of laws and restrictions that there are on roster spots, and that, when you bring players in, whether it's from, in the United States, we have limitations on how many foreign roster spots we can even have. So those spots are very protected in how we use them. And then conversely, here is in order to get that work visa to be able to play in England, you have to be an elite athlete. You have to be supreme. And that's hard. That's hard to get that visa. There's only a handful of those players that are even in the world today that are playing, and that's why we see that. So I mean, it's something that I think over time we can look at those opportunities on that. They're definitely good enough to do it. The other challenge is our seasons are very, very different. So Memphis is playing right now. We are lining up our season the end of October. And again, let's go back to the chemistry discussion and stuff that we had a second ago, is that by the end of our season, if we play in the playoffs, which we may do that this year in Memphis, that's going to be into November. Now, the opportunity to be able to bring players over to do something is difficult because of the chemistry issues, and then we restart again the end of January. So that window is it's just not very good for that.
I think we're going to playoffs in Memphis. I don't think so.
Just a quick question. Is there going to be any more upgrades in the line of debt and ground yourself, like a new roof? Because you always seem to be hiding things like a new roof and whatnot. You don't tell us at the last minute, what about a new roof?
We get a new roof?
In Stanley. Very right.
We talked about Berry Road.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the constraints around that end of the ground, we looked at it 3 or 4 years ago, and it just isn't possible. With all things with the houses at Berry Road, with the access into the ground, that's the only access that we've got to bring large machinery into the ground is via Berry Road to get onto the pitch. So for all of those things, it is really, really difficult. As it is at the moment, while we're only getting 1,500, even if we get 200,000, it's not a priority. But saying that, I mean, Peter wants to talk about some things that we were talking about today, which we're looking to do over the next 6 months, maybe next summer.
I said by November 20th.
I was talking about the 6th.
Well, actually, I think this is actually where I would actually like to go out to you and ask back what those priorities might be for our supporters. Because the truth is, I want to continue to improve the ground. I think that we still need to continue to replace seats. I think we need to continue, I think we need to, if nothing else, clean up that old Berry Road area, meaning where you stand, the walls, just, you know, I think there's some beautification, for lack of a better term, that needs to happen in that area from a fan experience. But truthfully, you know, it's important for us to know what your priorities are, because we're going to continue to invest in the club. I think that you look out at that pitch now, it's something for all of us to be incredibly proud of. I won't speak for Darryl, but I can tell you that you know, the players and, you know, and Darryl are thrilled with the consistency and the ability to play the brand of football that we want to play because of our pitch here at home, and it's a real advantage. And with doing the front and doing the seats and continuing to sort of chip away at it, I'd love to know throughout this evening, via email, via direct message, whatever it is, what those priorities are for you, because we will continue to invest here.
Thank you. Just leaving on from that, Steve. I think I read last week about bringing drinking back into football games and being proposed at the National Premier League level. Have you got more information to give us on that?
Only what you've read. That's the only thing. There's nothing been sent out to the clubs. It hasn't been discussed all week. They're talking about some pilots. We've got no idea. They're talking about what I read, which is probably the same as what you read, was bottles, the pet bottles. So that's as much as we know. We haven't been told about anything more.
So they could be taken into consideration if we learn more about the integration process.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, it's something that the government, it's one of these things that the government has said, this is what we're looking to do. There's a review in the football at the moment that's going on, led by Tracy Crouch, and I think it's all part of that. But she hasn't reported back to Parliament. In fact, the National League spoke over a meeting with her yesterday morning, and it's cancelled at the last minute. So that's still got to be said. So it's something that we'll keep an eye on.
This is the question about the crowd. Guys, thank you very much for your continued support in the club. All through with COVID, the company's going under, the business is shutting, doors being locked forever, and you kept the club going for us. Thank you.
I think, we appreciate that, but, the end is, we've always said since day one that we've been here is, we're the stewards today of the club for you. And that's really what it's about, we miss being here with you, we miss seeing you, we miss watching the stream and not seeing anybody here. And what motivated us through this whole process was to get back to doing this. To get back to where we are today, to win, but to be face to face with everybody, to be back at matches and let you be here. This is your club. This is what everybody is here for. And that's really, that's the job of the stewards of the club, right? Is we need to keep it going, need to keep moving it forward. That's what we're doing on the field, but even off the field. It meant a lot for us just to be back a few weeks ago, to be back now, to hold this forum. So we thank you for all the support of everybody sticking through everything. As Peter said, it's difficult. It's difficult right now, but we appreciate everything here that people are coming back. You watched on the streams. You're showing up. Things are going to get back to normal at some point, but again, this was all for you. So thank all of you.
Yeah, great voice of a microphone. At Barney's, we like a kid in the candy store. On a scale of 1 to 10, how many of you go today?
Barnet was one of the greatest sporting events I've ever been. So damn much fun. By the way, from the pub at the beginning, I don't remember where we stopped at on the way there, but I, got there, about beer started by, had drinks, and got there. You guys are amazing. That was a lot of fun. It was a blast, and I got some great video. There were some things I couldn't even send out. It was a little inappropriate, but that's cool. We appreciate that too. But thank you for showing up there. I'm glad I stuck around. Peter was extremely jealous. I was saying videos of everything that was going on, and obviously it was an amazing match too, right? But it was. Kudos to you guys for showing up, and I think we had more fans there than they did, so that was really cool.
I'm only sorry I missed the round in the pub though.
Well, as soon as you lose, I was told noon, everybody, I think it was noon, right, or 1 o'clock, everyone was going to be there, and I got there, I'm like, there's only a handful, so I waited around for a little bit. As soon as the crowd got big enough, because I really wanted to buy a lot of bikes for people, I said, okay, now let's go. Let's have the party. We did have one party foul. Actually, that person was here to smash the beer right before we did our group photo. That was the only downside. Someone dropped their pint, but it was okay. It was fun.
My next question is for Darryl. Try and explain Joey Jones to me, mate. Is he like that all week? I mean,
Balls of weed, to be honest.
I'm down in talent, mate, but I do poo myself every day, I've got to say.
So say again?
I do poo myself in the world every day, but he's a great talent, I've got to say.
Nah, listen, Joey's got fantastic talent. I think you've seen on Saturday what he brings to the team. His composure, he believes his own ability, he's very brave in getting on the ball in difficult positions, he never hides, and he makes people get the ball and he makes us play. I think he's a brave personality when he plays. Every now and then he's going to make an error, and that's cool because it happens at the top level you can pick. I don't know who the Jorginho, I'm not saying he's like Jorginho's a hero, but you can go to the top level football, people make errors and mistakes when they play football. And I want Joey to get the ball and play because I believe that brings the best out of our team. And he's alright. He's a good lad. I think people sometimes get the wrong impression of him. He's a winner, he demands our people, but he's a good guy.
Anybody else?
The young lady is to Steve.
I hope it's a station for Steve.
I didn't know whether to ask this or not. Going back to beautifying the club, is there any chance of painting over the station garage wording on the roof, which hasn't been in existence in Dagenham for a number of years? You must surely be able to get someone else to advertise on the roof of that club. Yeah, I know.
It is a question of the cost to do it. If we manage to get a sponsor who wants to do it, but a couple of times I've spoken to people, the actual cost of doing it has been outweighed by what they pay. The problem that you've got there is, and it's the same with the advertising board on that side of the ground, is they're not within the TV art, and all the advertisers want to be within the TV art, and that's what you've got. But we have tried, and I think we'll try.
It's not another question. This is about the use of the trash channel.
What should I love to have the last word for a change? These questions for Darryl, actually. Can I just ask of all the other teams in the league who did feel will present the greatest challenge to us?
I think there's so many teams, to be honest. I think, we've been speaking about it before, there's so many strong teams in this league now, it's such a tough league. I think you look at Chesterfield, Wrexham, Stockport, Notts County, Bromley, even Solihull Saturday, I think we were very tight. Bournemouth as well. And I think as well, to be honest, the teams that sometimes you look at as maybe the lesser teams, that they've improved so much, whether it's because of really good coaching or they've recruited young players and got a real style of play. I think there's so many difficult games now in this division that you never know who's going to come out of the woodwork to be competing with anyone. I think we've just got to focus on ourselves and stay in our own lane and do it with them. I think what Jenny asked me a question about what we do in training. Just I want to say is that for us and how we work as well, we look at in our working week, we look at 80% of what we do and 20% of what the others do. And that's a really important thing for us to keep honing our weight with that and improving with that. And we look at 20% of what the others do in our head. So focus on us, don't worry about anyone else.
He's getting the last word in
I think one thing we ought to recognise is Jack Wilson, the analysis, the amount of work that he does on the way home from the away games, he's working on pitch. Darryl mentioned earlier on the clips. Each player is sent out an individual clip on Sunday on their particular game on the previous day. And then they work on that on a Thursday morning, and they're looking at that on a Tuesday morning. So there's so much of other things that are done that is so important. And it's something that we didn't have. In fact, Peter Taylor brought Jackie, but I can say this because I can see he's flourished so much more under Doug, Grippy and Dave Judd, because they appreciate what he's doing. So that's important as well.
I'll just say a few words on Jack Cook as well. He's a vital part of our team, Jack, really. Analysis is such a massive thing in football now. And for Jack to produce on a Thursday this morning, we'll have an 7 to 8 minute video of the opposition we're playing Saturday. So the amount of football he's got to go through to get the real key points of what I want him to do. There's a lot of hours for him to get through the football to see it, and we see the 8 minute clip, and sometimes they send me the video on Tuesday, and also I need that something else in there. And he has to go back and find it again. So the work he does for us is outstanding. He's a real massive member of our squad.
I'll add one more thing, which is to say, look, we are still a smaller club, and we don't have necessarily the resources that Wrexham now has, which you guys can blame me for slightly. But we have somebody like that working on our behalf. Wrexham has 6 analysts, working on their behalf. They have 3x the payroll. They have, it's not about that. That's where this club is so special and why I feel so privileged to be part of it, because it's just about our heart and our ability to work together. And we're smaller, but we're just better. And that's the best part of that.
There was a question.
I'd just like to say that with the big teams in this league, like Wrexham, Stockport, and all the other Notts counties, Sutton done it last year, doing what we're doing now. Big league one, playing with a small unit, camaraderie. Just keep it up, Darryl, because I don't fear anyone in this league. I'm sure you don't. And these clubs, all these big signings, they're not gelling this league, they're not gelling. So just keep doing it. I'm sure we'll be fine.
Back again at the farm.
It's one for Darryl. Question out lots of young players. How good do you think Aaron Blair will be?
It's difficult to tell. I think he's got huge potential. Aaron trained with us from March-ish, April last year. He's a natural goal scorer. He needs to improve a lot of his game because this is no environment, as Aaron said, he's basically come from park football to being a professional footballer all of a sudden. He's a fantastic kid, good attitude, wants to learn, and just the hardest thing in football is to put the ball back in the net. He does that with ease. Now it's just trying to address his game. Obviously we sent him out now to get some experience and play some senior football, and there'll be lots of lessons from today on that. Now that he's at semi-professional club in Cheshire, where, you know, win bonuses, etc. count for the players in that team, which is not had before in terms of playing for the town. I'm sure we're going to allow standing back at the strong players.
On the topic of loans out, I reckon it's anyone like that we're also looking to loan out, or we keep the ones we've got going.
Phipps is injured at the minute. He's had a bit of a knee injury again. We've been running on 16 players, so we haven't got any losses like that, to be honest.
Appreciate that the league's undoubtedly the target, but FA Cup, are we looking for a nice little run in that?
Yeah, listen, every single match we play, we'll try and win, no matter what match it is, FA Trophy, S16 Cup. I think every game that we put a team out to play, we'll always have the intention to win the game. I don't look that far, I know I'm pretty bored, I don't look past Saturday to be honest, I'll just on to the next game and then we'll go. I'm over after that, and then we'll leave that from that.
Question for Peter and Craig really. We've had a brilliant start to the season, and you also have your ideas of what success looked like at the beginning of the season. What does success look like to you now? What's your minimum success rate? What do you think we should achieve?
I mean, you know from the day we came here, we want to be promoted, we want to be back in the football league. I said it from the time we finished 17th, 18th, 19th. So success for us is going up. Look, obviously this is a huge step for us. We already are clear that we're a playoff club. We can compete with anybody in the league. We outplayed Wrexham for that entire second half and could have easily won that match. So to me, success is, look, I was born and bred with the New York Yankees, and they say it's not a successful season unless they win the World Series. So that's really my starting point. But the reality is, that's a measure of success. Obviously, this has been a big step forward, and we make the playoffs and we make a run there. That's a great season, but we want to go up. That's what we want to do. We want to be in League Two. We want to be in the football league. We want to get the fans back engaged. We want to have everything that comes with being in the football league. You guys enjoyed it for 9 seasons. There's no reason why we can't do it again, and that's our belief.
Can we just ask another question as well? I think it's fair to say that we all really like you as owners. I mean, genuinely think you're fantastic. And these are brilliant times here at the football club. I guess the question that's kind of always in the back of my mind is how long are you guys going to stay? And has COVID changed that in terms of, obviously, the project has taken probably a little bit longer than maybe you originally thought. So what's your thinking in terms of long-term planning?
I think that's a really good question because I think COVID proved to me how much this club meant to me and to Greg. We missed this. And I think, and I'm not looking for any kind of praise from our commitment during COVID, but it was really one of those gut checks where you look at it and say, we don't want to leave or depart this football club. This is part of who we are now. So I don't, Darryl doesn't look past Saturday. I don't look, 2, 3, 10 years down the road. But this is our club. We're here. We're not going anywhere. We want to do amazing things here. We want long-term projects. So I said it not in jest, in sincerity, whether it's legitimate things that can help us move the needle financially, whether it's just beautification, whether it's a fan experience, whether it's what Darryl can accomplish with the players on the pitch. Whatever it is, we're looking to invest for the long term. So I would say that all of you, especially throughout COVID, the way you reached out to me directly and what the club meant to all of you, it just made it so much more personal. So if nothing else, I would say this has made us double down on what we want to do here in London.
Hi, a question Peter, bear in mind that you just said that I'm going to get promoted this season. If Darryl asks ice, will you buy the set back?
Yes, I'll do everything Darryl says at this moment. This is a good time for Darryl. Yeah, this is a good time to ask for this. We go on a little streak like you tend to do in the National League. Well, listen, I will say this, and again, I think I read the room and situations well. There's a really good dynamic up here as well. It's not just the players. Darryl, Steve, myself, the board of directors. It's been a really good mix, and there's really no competing narratives going on. There's nobody. We don't sit in a boardroom or in a Zoom meeting and disagree. We're all on the same page to make this thing happen. I can't imagine in any scenario Darryl coming and saying, "This is the guy that we need to add. This is what we need to do. This is going to take us there." And anybody from Steve to Mark to Dave Bennett to Craig, it would happen. So I think we're at that moment. We'll see. And look, by the way, I'm fully aware that going up takes a lot of luck too. It's not just everything that we have going for us. We need a little luck on our side as well. But we deserve it. So.
Second question for Steve. I wasn't able to Saturday, but I hear that they think bubbles as we came out of the ground. Has that guy been quiet? What, sorry? Has that guy been quiet?
But he's a Spurs supporter, so he's as mortified as the rest of us. It was a genuine mistake. White is a great lad. And he does the PA for us, he's been doing it for a few years, but he's also, as part of the deal that we got with West Ham Women, that does it for their games. And this last weekend, it was a little bit unique, the way the fixtures went, that they were playing on the Sunday. So he had everything ready. And when I spoke to him, I was here on Sunday for the game, for the women's game. And I said to him, what happened yesterday? He said, I never even heard this thing. No, I never heard it either. Because of White and Malcolm were screaming and shouting and responsive box. And he said, I never heard it. He said, I looked down and I realised it was a genuine mistake. So, listen, well, I mean, it's, you can't have go with that. What you got to remember is, there's a bloody great picture. It's not bad, it's made up in the countries you like.
Just one more sincere question for Peter Craig. What is the thinking behind the move with West Ham women coming into the club to play?
Yeah, our original thinking, and I'm actually pretty pleased with this, was to partner with obviously an organization that has more resources than we do. And the Women's Super League, and by the way, the women's game around the world is growing. And it is growing in popularity, it is growing in stature. Obviously, if you follow sort of mainstream news in basketball in the United States, March Madness, which was just for men's NCAA tournament, is now being built for the women's tournament. I mean, there really is, starting with Title IX, a movement to try to create some equality, real equality in women's professional sports. So, the reason I say all of that is, I do think that bringing new people to this ground, introducing Victoria Road to families that may not know Dagenham and Redbridge, that may not be here, that are West Ham fans, that want to come watch the women's game was important, and I think it gives us exposure. That was piece one. Piece two was, we legitimately are looking at a pitch and an irrigation system and something that, as much as I would love to write a check for $1 million, wasn't probably going to happen unless we were going to sacrifice the product that we have on the, that Darryl and our roster that we have on the field. So I think it's been a win-win. I wasn't actually fully expecting that we were going to get that kind of investment. Steve did a fantastic job securing that. And I think there's more of that to potentially come. So all kidding aside, this is not to say that anybody has to have any affinity or fan, loyalty to West Ham. This is Dagenham Redbridge's club. This is our ground. But I think that it's a really strategic and smart partnership from a business standpoint.
I think even I didn't appreciate how much money went into that pitch and the facilities out there this summer. We're talking about £750 million project. Those are $100 million. Million dollars. They don't know the exchange rate. They don't know the exchange rate. Those of you that there weren't many people down here during the summer. There were 100 lorries full of aggregate sand that came in, and topsoil that came in. They took the pitch down that deep. 40 years, we've never ever done anything like that. There's a new drainage system being put in. There's an irrigation system put in. I looked at 4 years ago about putting that irrigation system in, and that alone was £180,000. Just the irrigation system. And we haven't seen the rest of it yet because they're out there today and tomorrow. They're still finishing it, the pump room. There's a pump room the size of the shop out the back that's been put into, and that's not fully fitted in yet. That's still being done. We haven't seen the real benefits of it. Although I do think we've seen the real benefits of it is the amount of goals it's scored and the way that the team play. Darryl would say to me last year that some of the bumps and the bubbles on the pitch were preventing the team playing the way that he wanted them to play. It's something that a team at our level, even a League One, League Two team, would not have been able to justify putting in. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's one of the biggest things that we've done at this club since we built the SD Stone. That's how the impact is going to be. And it's not just this year, it's going to be going on and on. Every year we're going to see that benefit. And we've also, because of West Ham women, we've got the head groundsman for West Ham overseeing the renovation to the pitch and looking after the pitch throughout the year. And that's going to go on and on for the next 10 years at least. It's absolutely fantastic. And we ought to be praising them. Whatever else happens, whatever else we get out of it, with the extra people coming in, coming down here on a Sunday, 1,000 people or so that we're here on Sunday, it generates loads of bars and income, which is, to me, that's a side product. Actually, to have a pitch to the standard that we've got is actually fantastic. I'm over the moon, honestly.
Don't play bubbles, eh?
How easy was it for you to make all right price cutting? It seemed like it wasn't long ago, was it you saying his career, he was like sort of putting on 1, 2 ways, since then, like nothing down, very keen on his sport.
Yeah, he's brilliant. I think Will's been absolutely outstanding. He's always had all the tools in his bag and bringing it together. Making him captain was vice captain behind Angelo, but then putting that pressure on him, giving him that responsibility, was thinking that might help him actually mature and grow up a little bit quicker. And I think he's adapted to the role so well. I think he's made him grow up a lot quicker, I think, in being captain. He's a very intelligent boy, so I knew he'd probably deal with the pressure of being captain of all the other players, like he did that. And then it's just had to perform at another level. I think it's been awesome to be fair to him.
Anybody else?
Just following on from the West Ham question, really, with the pitch investment. Is there anything to look further with potential players coming in on loan? Obviously, they've got a very good youth side. Younger players, obviously, we've had Jordan Maguire during the past, Matt Ritchie, Matty Cash, Joe, a couple of big players that then pushed on is there anything that we're going to look at potentially looking with younger players to then move forward with the club?
If we can, obviously we go and watch all 23 games between me, Redbridge, Uppy and Stilly. We all go across and watch as many 23 games as we can to keep an eye on as well. I think it's been a massive change, if I'm being really honest. If you can give me a player that's played in the National League in the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 years on loan from a Premier League or a Championship club that's been outstanding. There's not many now. I think young players have all got ages now. None of them want to play in the National League. They want to play in the football league. I think the dynamic of it definitely changed. The one I can think of is Archer, who went to Solihull last season. At the start of the season, he scored a hat-trick with Aston Villa against Barrow and Carabao. I think he's the only one I think of. So it's more difficult now to get a player like that. We did try last year to get a player on from West Ham around January time, but we don't see. That's Dagenham. Oh, right, Stephen's already on that too. So we deal with all the ways, it's difficult to get the numbers sometimes.
I was nice earlier, but this is a question to go all in the front. January, are we a selling club? We've got lots of players that have already shut their heads above the parapet and look really good. So, are we going to keep?
We're not selling. That's not why we're doing this, right? I mean, look, if we're lucky enough to have a player that I didn't go back to Connor Wilkinson. I don't want to lose any player. It upsets me when we lose players, even if it's good money. So that's not why we're doing this. If obviously it's a business, so if there's a player that we develop and we have a real opportunity, and that player has a real opportunity, we're not going to stand in that player's way. But this season, we're not set.
Yeah, sorry guys. I was wondering, sometime in the future, we have like a bunch of season matches. We have like a pre-season schedule. Would you guys consider in a pre-season a bit easy less, promote a little bit more, and organise some games like this?
Yeah, sort of the same question as before, a little bit. I think the hard part that we've seen is one is obviously COVID is still going on. You know, if you look at earlier this year, Wrexham was supposed to come over to the United States and play in Philadelphia. That got canceled because of COVID. I mean, really, those plans, we kind of talk about this every, you know, all of these things, and we talk about it all the time. We talked about it earlier today. We want to do it, but now we obviously have this other thing that's, wow, I can go on. West Ham story, is that what happened? Bubbles, here we go. You know, that we talked about even earlier today on is one is we got to get this out of the way. Is that we don't want to have a situation where the team goes overseas or even Memphis comes over here and you have a COVID situation, you're quarantined for 10 days and throws the next season off and everything else. So obviously safety issues. And then again, it's the calendar. The calendar is really, really hard. When Dagenham was in preseason, we were in the middle of our season in Memphis. And it's just hard to sort of then pick up a game and drop something in there. The schedules are just very difficult. And then the same thing vice versa. When we are in season, or when Memphis is preseason, we're at the back end of the season here in Dagenham. We don't want to put into a situation where we're putting games on the calendar that jeopardize the health and safety of players. That is an injury that can be anything. So we got to be smart on how we do it. We want to do it. We think it's going to be awesome. I get asked in Memphis all the time, when are we going to England? I get asked here, when are we going to Memphis? We're going to make it happen at some point, but it's probably, obviously with COVID now, we're probably some time down the road, not anywhere near, you know, this year, you know, maybe even next year until we get a lot of things sorted out.
Anybody else?
if Memphis came here Saturday and played Dagenham, who would win? It's going to be a 2-2 draw. Right, we could start Dagenham will be down 1-0. Right? And then we come back, right, the whole thing. But that's the only thing is it needs to end in a draw. Just for my own sanity and safety alone. You know, no matter where I go, I go in trouble. So.
Yeah, just a question out of interest. Something I read this week as well, where the Woking and Chesterfield game was called off earlier because there's outbreak of COVID in the Chesterfield team, and the Woking team have got quite a number of players that have not had their jabs. Have we got any sort of situations that we might encounter with that sort of issue?
It's a difficult one to answer that, because it's quite confidential. And in exactly the same way as you're at work, and your employer will go around and say how many people have got vaccinated. What I would turn around and say is that we're probably in line with the corporate industry. And we've already done it. So, and it's a difficult thing. But we couldn't possibly go into the sorry.
Yeah, to the people. Right. You're talking about upgrading the Berwick Road. Can I just say that the toilets within the ground currently need to be upgraded and pull it forwards?
It's not the first time we've heard of it. I think it's probably time to address it. It wasn't the highest priority when we first got here, but I actually do, I'm serious, I think it's right, I think it's time to address it. So, we need to go toward those after this. Is it too dark? We will go. We'll go tomorrow and take a look. Thank you.
Firstly, thank you to Peter and the Robinson when they players of January on David's YouTube channel. Thank you. And secondly, a question for Darryl. When do you think we'll see Bonanza back?
As I said, he'll be available for Saturday. He started training last Thursday, so he trained for the team last Thursday, Friday. He trained all of this week so far with no reaction, and he'll be available for selection Saturday.
Question now, do you think the referees are getting worse?
I try not to complain about referees because it is a difficult job. I'll let you do that, I'll let time to I think, no, it's a difficult job and everybody gets things wrong, it's just that they happen to get more wrong against us than anybody else. Hopefully they get better, we're working on it. We're trying to get them better. I think obviously it was 12 weeks before that we obviously mark them after every game and there's huge improvement I think there will be in referees. They've been held more accountable for decisions as well. We've got the ability to send in clips and notes in to complain about certain things that we're happy about and they get back to us sometimes about that.
We're looking to close the meeting shortly because people in Craig had a long day and only flew in this morning. So it will take 3 more questions if there's any more to be had.
Chat up the bar. You go right now.
Yeah, if that's what I'm there.
Over there in the TV at the bar.
Steve, we spoke about this last season, but the bottled beer in the clubhouse, where are we with the Three Daggers Brewery?
I honestly don't know because of COVID. They haven't been touched, but I will find out.
Yeah, the other side of Stonehenge, and I visited in the summer, they're open as normal.
They might be open, but they might not be deliberately sparse. I'll check with the bar manager and I'll let you know more. Or early next week. I honestly don't know.
Which one is it?
The other problem is as we've opened up, we've kept, tried to keep stocks reasonably low, because it's a turnover. As we're getting more busy, then we'll introduce more light. But when we first opened up, it kept everything to a minimum, because we just didn't want things to go off. We've got to remember, over the last 18 months, we've thrown away so much beer and stock here. It's been incredible. So we've got that in mind as well.
That gave me the chills. You've run out here.
You know, I was the only one here, I couldn't drink it all.
Sell by December 2027.
No, I understand that, but it's also delivery and minimum costs and things like that. So, but I'll check. I don't know the answer.
David, the gentleman at the end there.
Darryl, you've got teams like Redbridge who have like sleep coaches and everything like that. You've just heard the owner say they'll give you all the support you need. If you go out one area where you can get a bit more support, where would it be?
Wouldn't mind that trip to Memphis, to be honest. No, I think we're really happy with what we've got, to be honest. I think every single thing that we tried to implement over the 18 months since I've been in it, I've been back, I think I can't complain. In terms of the biggest thing was changing the culture that I felt like going to the football club would take time to break through it and to get people seeing our same team sheet, hungry people in every department. I think as a football club now, when I know for me when I walk into work now compared to when I walked 18 months ago, it's a different place. In terms of smiles on faces, people working hard, people being accountable. I think we're a much improved football club after the last 18 months. And there's nothing I need at the minute, but if I do need something, I'll give a ring for sure.
Okay, one more if there's anyone.
So lads, my wife dropped me off tonight, and as the lads can tell you, they've never seen her know what she looks like. The last thing she said to me before we got out of the car was, "You're not going to America, but Craig, if we do go to America, mate, we don't have to see a game, we just go for what we always go for. We don't have to see a game of football. Tomo, fridge is upstairs, and please turn the lights off in that stand. I'm trying to watch my football in midweek."
Okay, thank you very much. I think Steve has got a few words. Come on, he's always got a few.
I've always got a few words.
A few more words to say.
Always got a few words. Thanks everybody for embracing the new ticket system. Most of the people here will be season ticket holders, I would imagine. I hope everybody's gone well with that. It seems from our side it's going well. Charlie's doing a really good job with that. But if anybody's got any concerns, please let me know. Those of you who are not season ticket holders, we're really trying to urge people to buy their tickets online as much as possible. It helps on the turnstiles, it helps all the way along. So encourage that as well. If anybody's got any problems with that, again, let me know.